Welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Swlf Reliance. I'm excited for this. A little disappointed so far on the scores, right? Well, 6.1 on IMDb. This is on Hulu. 3,852 people rated it so far, so it's not as good as I think we all hoped. Jack Johnson in his, or Jake Johnson. Sorry, Jake. I do that all the time. I'm sorry, Jake. I know you watch my reviews and I just made you mad. Andy Samberg, of course, is also in it. And who's the girl? The girl is Anna Kendrick. And there's a bunch of other people in it too, but they're the ones that pop up all the time. This is on Hulu, I mentioned that. So I've seen some advertisements, quickly turn it off. I've seen the scene where Jake Johnson's walking down the street, Andy Samberg drives up in a car. Evidently, the movie plot is somebody's given the opportunity, I'm going to guess it's Jake, to participate in a life or death reality game show where he discovers there's a lot to live for. I don't know. Heard something maybe he has to be alone or can't be alone or something weird like that. Intriguing. Was it The Game with Kirk Douglas or Michael Douglas? Michael Douglas. I think that's what it was called. And Sean Penn. Sounds a little bit like that, right? Maybe I have the title wrong, but I'll look that up before I talk to you again. But he wrote it, Jake Johnson, and directed it. I don't know if it's his directorial debut. I just wanted to say directorial. So it may be, it may not be. Or it might be his writorial debut. I don't know. But he wrote it, directed. He obviously stars in it. I think he's a funny guy. I've seen some good movies with him in it. And, he obviously in some good shows as well. New Girl, obviously, is where I recognized him. There's that, is it Safety? No, Safety Not Guaranteed is phenomenal. I really enjoyed that movie, but that's not the one I'm thinking about. There's another, like, unseen movie, unheard of. Ride the Eagle. Okay, I only gave that a 6, but Safety Not Guaranteed, I gave a 7. So check that out if you're into him and you're just looking for another recommendation. But let's see. Who knows? It's an hour and 25 minutes long. How can it go wrong? And it's on Hulu, so who knew? It could be good. I know. I'm awful. I apologize. Stick around. I promise I'll try not to rhyme next time. Hey everybody. We're at the credits of Swlf Reliance. I'm not really sure how I feel about this movie, to be honest with you. And I'll tell you why. Like we thought, Jake Johnson is, like a kind of an oddball kind of guy. Lives at home with his mother, and I don't know. He feels like he's stuck in a loop, and that's where Andy Samberg comes out and says, "Hey, we got this game for you." And the game is, hey, somebody's going to hunt you for 30 days. The hunters will hunt you for 30 days to kill you, but they won't kill you if you're with somebody else. So as long as you're not alone, you'll survive. So, and you win $1 million. So I immediately thought of that, like, wow, I don't think I'd do that. I don't know, maybe. I mean, here I am. I sit alone every night, so I'd be done already. But, it's fun to think about that. And then the movie starts off, I think, pretty hot with that premise. But they got 30 days to go through. But it's neat, as ridiculous as it sounds, that's what most of the movie plot is about. Him trying to stay with people so that he can win this $1 million and not get murdered, all that stuff. But he's also, like, trying to convince people that he's playing this game, that he's possibly going to get murdered unless he's with somebody, kind of thing. So, as his family, he's got his family to try and convince. He's got an ex-girlfriend. He's got a dad that ran out on them 30 years ago. So there's a lot of different elements to this guy's character, and and he seems like, hey, he's made up some things in the past, so and then in it, Anna Kendrick comes in, so they kind of start hanging out together to not be separated. So she plays a pivotal role in this movie. Christopher Lloyd shows up in here. Other than that, I don't think there was anybody else that was worth mentioning. But what you get then, which kind of drove me crazy a little bit, like, and this was done on purpose. Everything that he does and everything that happens has you questioning, is it real or is it not? Is this a figment of his imagination? Or is it somebody who just completely messed with him and is doing all this crazy stuff? You know, is some of it real, some of it fake? Like, that's what they do to you the entire movie. Which, again, to somebody who might not believe him, it looks bad on. Like when he tells these stories of people trying to kill him, like a big giant kind of guy who tries to kill him, you know, and they're like, we're like, really? So you really feel for the character, and it's like, you know, I don't like movies where something bad continues to happen to somebody, so on and so forth. Well, this is the same kind of thing where, you know, you don't get a leg up, you don't get somebody to believe in you, or, you know, and that continues to happen. It just sounds worse and worse and worse every time you go to somebody. So that's the painful part of it, and it caused me to get on my phone a little bit here and there, but I wanted to stick it out, and I wanted to see where it was going, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the other piece of it with the characters that we have in it are the actors, and I know it's more of I guess a dark comedy, you know, with Jake Johnson and Andrew Kendrick. You think, I was hoping for more laughs. There were some, you know, funny parts, but not really any laugh out loud or anything like that. So I don't remember any part that stood out to me that was like, oh yeah, that was funny. You know, there's some quips here and there, some Mario Brother humor, like kind of stuff like that, like little things like that when you go into detail, more subtle humor than it was to make you laugh. So kind of missed the mark on that, and that was okay. I don't think that was the intention. I think there's some, you know, supposed to be some light humor throughout this. It's not supposed to be a comedy, maybe a dark comedy, whatever. So a little disappointed there. This is all why I don't know how I feel about this film. So now this movie has you going down this path of, you know, where is it going? And I always try and predict what I'm thinking, what I think is going to happen, and usually I'm wrong. I was wrong in this case, but I'm not sure how much I like what they, not what they did, but how they did it, right? So we get to the end, we get to the dramatic climax, and I don't know. I just don't know, you know? So it's hard. So that's why I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I think I would have, you know, there's a lot of different ways. And I know if it went one certain way, I know I'm very obtuse right here, but if it went one certain way, I definitely wouldn't have liked it. And maybe if it would have went the other way, I would have liked it a little more. But what they did, it kind of, I don't know, messed me up a little bit. Not messed me up, but messed up my thoughts on what I felt about this movie. So I can't talk any more about it, because now it's getting hard to even talk, because I can't do anything without spoilers. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with this one. You know, I'm in a 5 and a 6 range. That's it. You know, and it's either, if I decide I like it, it's a 6. If I don't, it's probably down to a 5. But I do want to talk a little bit more about it, because I know I'm stumbling over my words, but I don't want to spoil it for you. So if you haven't seen it yet, or you don't want to know any more about it, thanks for tuning in. Tune in to the next review. But if you're okay listening to a little bit more, I've already seen it. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! So, you know, they decide to go with, again, not really, but you know what they did, right? They went, and it's not all in his head. And I think if it was all in his head, it would have absolutely been an emotional downturn for me, and I probably wouldn't have liked the movie, in my opinion. Now, if they would have turned around and said, man, he got $1 million, and all the truth comes out, and everything's great and glorious, and, you know, and he's a better man now because of it, and he's got a girl, and he's got back to his career, got a family, whatever. I like that. What they just did was, they kind of, again, have him in front of his family saying, well, yeah, I want it. And so they leave it. They seem like they leave it to the fact of, hey, we still don't know. He just got his tooth fixed. But he seems like he's not playing the game anymore, but the family probably doesn't believe that he got the money, whereas, you know, he's thinking he does, even though it's the whole Greenland thing, right? Okay. But then they show Wayne Brady. And it's like, okay, If Wayne Brady's there, then it really did happen. So, you know, it's caught in that middle of like, yeah, his family doesn't believe him, but they meet this guy, and, you know, there's no proof. Like, where's the case? Can he show him the case with all the money in it? Nothing like that, you know? And so that in between, I get it, that's done for effect. I support the creativity, the nuance of it all. I'm okay with that. I don't know. I guess I wanted it one way or the other. And I guess I wanted him to have, redemption is the thing, you know. And I don't think he got that. And so, there you go. Whew, that was a lot. So I don't know if I was helpful at all, but if you stuck around this far, I apologize for the long review. It's a short movie, probably shorter than my review. But that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.